Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast Trendline Tuesday. We're talking about 175 plus horsepower tractors today, and I want to make this announcement today. So I have moved Moving Iron Podcast over to the Farm Journal family of podcasts, and if you want to take a look at where you can find those new podcasts as a hit, go to agweb.com. Also go to the YouTube channel if you want to watch the video version of that. www.youtube.com at Farm Journal. So what I want to talk about was what's going on in tractor marketplace. In 2023, there were 7,909 tractors. That's 1 month off the absolute low, which was January of 2023. If you look at how that stacked up, the supply increased by 167%. So a huge amount of tractors came back on the marketplace. If you look at where we're at now in 2025, that supply has eased a little bit. So we're starting to see a contraction. And the beautiful thing about what we're seeing in 2025 is starting to show a somewhat of a light at the end of the tunnel going into 2026. From a demand perspective, February of 2023, there were 7,909 listings, which gave you a 12-to-1 ratio. In 2024, that shrank to a 7-to-1 ratio. In 2025, they're 8.5-to-1 ratio. If you go back and take a look at where 2024 order writing period starts and where 25 deliveries that are coming through, most manufacturers are way off. Anywhere between 20 and 35%, depending on what manufacturer you're looking at. That opens that gate up to that late model, low-hourred, 1 to 3 year old piece of equipment has an opportunity in 2025 going into 2026. Also, I think as you look at where auction values are today comparatively where they were year over year, auction values are higher now than they were this time last year. So we are seeing more equipment move into that space where there's going to be a better opportunity to see a higher value on used equipment. So if you're in the market to buy something in 2025, I would buy it right now and not wait till the end of the year. If you can do that. The price change, the difference between where we saw the price ranges fall into place. In 2023, $82,114,000 to $241,460 was the average range that we saw for machines that were between 175 horsepower and up. In 2024, we saw $94,050 and $282,688 as far as the range goes. The year-over-year change in that is what's the most important part of that. The jump between 2023 and 2024 as far as used equipment goes, and that range is ranging between 114% increase to 117% increase. But if you look at 2025, where the average price is between $91,475 and $280,722, you saw a decrease in value of 2.8% to 0.69%, which is telling you that, I have this 120% rule that I talk about a lot on the podcast. That 120% rule really basically swings in between, where retail value becomes 120% of auction value. When you see those things come together, you start seeing things turn. We're starting to see that to shrink, right? More and more of that shrink together and become a closer gap between retail and auction value. When you guys listen to the Moving Iron podcast that drops this Thursday, Greg Peterson and I talk a lot about what's going on in the auction market. And he talks about a lot of auction values that he's seeing, where some of the auction values he's seeing are the highest auction values he's seen since 2022. A lot of that stuff is moving into a good direction. So I encourage everyone to take a listen to the Moving Iron podcast that drops on Thursday, where we go way more in depth than what we see here. And I hope that you all take a good look at that and find some information on it. So with that, I'm Casey Seymour. Let's go move some iron, folks. Out.